Bold and Beautiful, show number 4669. Cindy Pop directing.
You're saying that my father made me the sole owner of Forrester Creations?
The Stephanie Douglas Trust owns the company, but you are the sole beneficiary.
I own the company.
Today's show puts you way ahead of Spectra in the fashion wars.
The orders have been flooding in all week based on word of mouth alone. Today's sales are unprecedented.
Dante, everyone is raving about your glorious prints. Would you say you're the three talents behind this enormous success?
Well, no, I wouldn't leave Brooke Logan out of the equation.
No, absolutely not. With Brooke and me at the helm, and of course Ridge, this is a new era for Forrester Creations.
Care to comment about your son's loss, Ridge?
Thomas is incredibly talented, but he's still too young for this cutthroat world of high fashion, so he's going to college. When he comes back, he'll be coming back to Forrester Creations where he belongs.
What about your brother Thorne? After the beating that Spectra received today, he could be out of a job. Got room for him at Forrester?
I wouldn't start looking for Thorne down at the unemployment office just yet. You know, they may have lost the showing here today, but you can never quite count Spectra out.
We're finished. Crushed. We're out of the business, darling.
Uncle Thorne, I'm so sorry. I guess I just wasn't ready.
Oh, sweetie, it wasn't your fault.
No, we wouldn't want to blame the designer, would we? For crying out loud.
That's all right. You want to blame somebody? Go ahead and blame me. I was the one who went out on the limb, went too far out until somebody sawed it off. No big deal. I've hit rock bottom before, and I've always managed to claw my way back up to the top. Don't worry about Spectra, Thomas. You gave it your best shot. Besides, I think you got more important things to worry about right now.
Gabby, I don't want to lose you.
We have no choice.
No, you're my wife, and I won't let my parents send you away.
Eric believes he's in charge of this company. I mean, he's just named Brooke as his co-chief executive officer. But what you're saying to me is that they actually work for me.
If this document is still valid.
What says irrevocable trust? What would the problem be?
The problem would be that your father could have amended this before he died. I mean, there are all kinds of possibilities. We have to have this verified.
Well, who do we talk to? Somebody that's not going to talk to Eric.
Right. I have a financial planning attorney who is the best. Now listen, Stephanie. If this document holds, the whole future and history of the Forrester family can be changed overnight forever, okay? Are you sure that you want to open this can of worms?
You even have to ask me that?
Oh, Margaret, yes. Do me a favor, will you please? I want to talk about
The Stephanie Douglas Irrevocable Trust. Oh, wow.
Mom. Dad, I know that we had a deal, but you can't hold me to it. It's wrong, please.
Thomas, you have to accept the consequences of your actions.
Are you really gonna go through with this? You cheated, Ridge. You cheated your own son out of a victory with this secret phony ad campaign.
He's my son, and I know what's best for him. Gaby, the deal.
No.
We gave our word, Thomas. We can't go back on that. But I'll never forget what you did for me. On our wedding night in Vegas. And every single beautiful moment after that. I love you. I love you. Never forget that. Well, I guess you won, Taylor. You wanted me out of here at all costs, and you got it. I guess it just wasn't good enough, was I?
Yes, you are, to be his friend, but not his wife. I've told you many times, he's just too young.
You got your way. You already called immigration? That's how much faith you have in Thomas? That's how bad you wanted me out of his life?
I have some paperwork for you to sign.
You had to do this here?
It's her idea. Just sign that, please.
Please give us some privacy.
I want this kept very quiet, understand? Thank you. We'll wait on his call. My attorney's in a meeting, and he will call us back.
This is what I don't understand. I have always believed that Eric and I owned this company jointly. So when we decided to divide some of the stock or sell some of it, why did no one tell us that we couldn't do that? Why didn't someone come and say, why didn't they mention the trust? Why didn't they say you can't sell any stock?
Your father never mentioned a word of this?
No, never. I mean, I can only assume that he intended to, but things were happening so quickly then. I mean, Eric was struggling, setting the company up. I was pregnant with Ridge.
I certainly remember that.
We could never have started this company without the money from my father. I don't think Eric has any idea how hard it was for me to go to my father and ask him for that money. I wanted so desperately for him to trust and to believe that Eric was capable of setting this company up, that I wanted him to invest in our future.
Listen, John Douglas was no happier than I was about you marrying Eric, all right? Some flaky character from California, for God's sake.
I was surprised when he gave us the money.
And I'm sure that's why he drew up this trust.
But if he went to so much trouble to protect me, why didn't he tell me about it?
Well, knowing your father as well as I did, my guess is he didn't want to plant any seeds of doubt in your mind. After all, you had a baby coming, you were dealing with a marriage, a new company. If it worked out, fine. And if not, you and the children at least had something to fall back on.
My dad was really good.
You see, I told you not to give up. John is still looking after you. He's in this room, Stephanie. He's in this document. You cannot walk away from a company that he went to such lengths to make sure is yours.
Oh, God, you're so naive when you're that young. You think you're going to be married, it's going to be forever. I mean, you believe that you'll always look out for each other. I suppose the truth be known, my father didn't tell me about the trust because he knew I'd give Eric my shares of the stock anyway. I mean, that's how in love with him I was.
The trustees would never allow you to do something that stupid.
Eric did not know anything about this trust.
This document was in his safe.
So you're saying that every time we divided stock to give to our children, and that when he married Brooke and he gave her some of the stock, you're saying that he knew it was illegal?
Why? You surprised at anything Eric does? For God's sake, Stephanie, he just used your power of attorney to divorce you, okay? Without your consent. Come on.
My God, have I been conned by him all these years? Have I blamed Brooke for luring him away and that's what he's always wanted? It was never even a struggle? I tell Bridget not to live in a fool's paradise, and who am I? I'm the biggest fool of all. How could I be so completely wrong?
Oh, no, come on. Don't blame yourself.
No, wait a minute. This is my husband that we're talking about. He has his weaknesses, but he's not a cheat. He's not a liar. He would never hide my inheritance from me. He could never do anything that cruel. Moss, this envelope was sealed. We had to tear it open. It was in that safe. It's been there probably for years. He's probably overlooked it, and he's going to be just as surprised by this as I am.
What is this? Gabriella's status has been reinstated.
But how?
A very convincing series of letters and phone calls to my supervisor.
You?
No.
Then who?
Taylor.
I wrote the letters, Gabby. I even went up to Sacramento the other day, and I pleaded your case. I never thought it was fair you being deported, so I've been writing letters and I've been making phone calls ever since this thing started. I wasn't sure what would come of it, but...
She's been driving Sacramento crazy, and your status has been restored and your scholarship reinstated.
I'm so sorry. I thought that...
No,
that...
it's okay. We both thought and said things we probably wish we hadn't. You were scared, and so was I, but I want you to know that I always believed in you, even when I was angry at you. You don't have to be married in order to stay here, okay? And I want you to be friends with Thomas. I do. I want you to be friends with all of us.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Congratulations. I can't believe it.
Come on,
Hell of a thing you did there for Gaby, Doc. Now we're going to be able to see what she's made of. You came through for her. Can she do the same for you?
Well, obviously, she cares a great deal for Thomas, so we'll just have to see if she's able to do what's best for him.
Do you think she's really going to be able to let go?
Thank you all very much.
And you work on those designs, okay?
Good. Come on, Bucky. Give me your hand. You better be careful. You're gonna wear that thing out.
I'm afraid if I stop looking at it, it'll disappear.
Not a chance. And neither will I.
Gosh. I said some terrible things to your mom. And all this time I thought that she was against me and she was really helping you. Her son. And she was right. We are too young to be married.
This whole thing started out as a way to get your green card. But we're so much more than that now. We're good together. I know I'm supposed to file for annulment. Is that what you want? Because I'm willing to fight for us if you are.
Let me ask you this. If my status didn't run out, do you think we would have gotten together?
I don't know.
Your mom has given me a chance to go to school here and figure out who we are and what we want. And if we're meant to be, we're gonna be. And then, if we ever get married again, then we know that we did it the right way. You don't have to fight any more battles for me, Thomas. 'Cause you're already my hero. You are.
If this trust proves valid, then every decision that Eric has ever made would be called into question.
Yes.
And there would be no transfer of ownership.
No. No one can take this company away from you now. All right, Stephanie? Not Eric, not Brooke.
I thought you left.
Well, I had a few loose ends to tie up.
Now, well, if you're finished.
As it turns out, I might not be.
We have an appointment, Stephanie.
And Brooke and I have a meeting.
Oh, of course, you and Brooke. The darlings of the fashion world. A distinction that you and I once shared.
Ancient history.
My father helped us start this company. Do you remember that?
You gonna bring that up again?
Well, I had to convince him, really convince him, to give us the money.
Well, that money was paid back decades ago.
And I had to convince him that you were not just some dreamer. I had to convince him that you were capable of running a company like this. And I had to convince him that you would never betray me. Never leave me. Never marry someone else. And guess what? Here we are all over again. For the second time, you have taken your whore and made her the CEO of the company that my father gave us.
Gave? Go to Florida, Stephanie. This is my company now, mine and Brooks. You're no longer welcome here.
It's your company. Your company?
Stephanie,
Your
Stephanie,
company?
not the
Your
time.
company!
Not the time or the place.
Let me tell you something. You have betrayed me, you have betrayed our marriage and our family, but if there is 1 ounce of justice in this world, you will not betray my trust.